is up, Rush Nation? I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It is September. My name's Joel Hewitt, the host of the 5 Yard Rush NFL podcast, the Hatback with a Heart of Gold. And I am here with the other one, Alex Woods, and your friend and mine, Pete, the off-season champion. Pete, I need to know something real quickly.
Yes.
Will you forever be the off-season champion, or are you just going to be champion next week? Or is it like wait and see?
No, I'm always going to be the off-season champion. My stats plummet in season, so
yeah.
Got
to I see it. Yeah. I didn't draft you on my fancy team or anything either.
Probably
week 10, Pete will just be like on the pup list, and he just will be out for the rest of the season.
We'll pop him on pup. Right, guess a little bit of housekeeping. We have got a whole bunch of people in the 5 Yard Rush Pick'em and Flick'em League. I think we're up to 17, 18 on that one, so that's nice. There should be links out everywhere. I've been told as well that I need to pimp out the Discord, so make sure anybody that's listening goes to that if you haven't before. Yes, Alex, we have a Discord.
I was just thinking, I need to join the Pick'em entry now. I need to join the Discord. Just send me all the social media links, and I'll do it myself.
Certainly will. The Pick'em link is in our show notes at the link to Pick'em on Sleeper, big bold words with a blue link underneath it, Alex. So you can do that while the rest of us are having a bit of a chat. Welcome anybody who's listening live. Thank you for joining us. In 17 minutes, the 5 Yard flagship show is going to go live with an auction draft. So let's see whose numbers plummet and who does a little bit better. But they're just doing modern day auctioning. I was going to say a different word there, but that's a bit cruel, isn't it? Right, let's kick it off, boys. The preseason has pre-seasoned. We are in the actual calendar week where actual football actually matters. So let's quickly kick off with week 1. I need overreaction Tuesday, I guess it is. I think Rich Adds does overreaction Monday. Before they've even started, who, after the end of all of the games last week, will be overhyped by the media, who will be a concern by the media, and who will be counted as washed based on one game alone. Because they'll all do it. They're all going to pick, oh my God, such and such is going to go for the Super Bowl. Who wants to start me off? Alex, hit me up.
Which would you like first? You want the hype?
You choose. Yeah, let's hype it up.
Let's go the Giants.
Ooh, okay.
The Giants are going to have a road win against Washington week 1, and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, Russell Wilson can still play football. Oh my God, this Giants defense is for real. Oh my God, all the weapons that they've built actually work. It's going to be okay. New York football is saved.
Fair enough. God, stick that in your pick 'em, people. A New York Giants win. Does that mean that you've got the Washington football team? I keep calling them that. It was ingrained in me. Are they the wash of the week for you then?
They would not be. The wash would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, because they have Aaron Rodgers and just a bunch of other guys. There's no one else. Yeah, they're like they all could have walked in off the street. There's no one else that's like actually a very good football player. Aaron Rodgers himself probably isn't at this moment in time. There's only so much. I'm going to repeat this probably all the way through the podcast today. There's only so much that good coaching can do. Mm-hmm. And we all know the Steelers have got good coaching. They've got a great front office. But I think this one is a little bit too much of a stretch. I think they won't finish above 500 like they always have done under, obviously, his reign there. I just think this is too much.
Fair enough. We've got Mason in the chat saying, Tyler Noob in breakout game? Question. Very maybe. I like it. You may as well hit us with your third then. Who will be the concern of the week based on results of one game only?
The Los Angeles Rams. They will not put up a fight against the Houston Texans, and everybody will be a little bit concerned. Matt Stafford will look a shell of himself, as we have been worried about him all off season. The worry will continue into week 1, and then as I've just said previously before, good coaching can only take you so far. Sean McVay is a great coach, and like we'll all sit here and admit it. But like, if you haven't got the rest of the weapons alongside Puka Nacua, what more can you do?
Fair play to you. Love it. Also, it has nothing to do with you like the LA team. Pete, go on, hit me up. All three.
I think the hype will be for the Cardinals. I think they're going to put on an
drafted Kyler Murray in our league of record. I'm here for it. I gave him like 12 or 14 wins this season.
Yeah, and I think they're going to put on a clinic against the Saints. But and people will be like, "Oh my goodness, this is just going to be a cricket score," and then people are going to soon realise that that's just what happens every week. That is what the Saints are there for. They're just to help boost your points difference.
Stream your defenses, guys. Anybody facing the Saints?
Yes, yeah. We won a lot of money streaming against Nate Peterman a while back, and just do that against Spencer Rattler. I think the concern is going to be for the Lions. I think there's already people saying the roster's too good, and the roster is absolutely fantastic. But they go, they're facing the Packers that first game, and I can see it being one of those games, a bit like when Khalil Mack first signed for the Bears, and he just absolutely destroyed Aaron Rodgers in that first game, and it was just a real kind of wow moment. I think that's what you're going to get from the Packers in this first week, and then everybody's going to be wringing their hands. Oh, the loss of Ben Johnson, the loss of Frank Ragnow, the loss of the Jets head coach, whose name just temporarily escaped me, who was their DC, Aaron Glenn. People are saying, is this not going to work? And I think they're actually going to be fine. It's going to be a massive overreaction. It's just they're going to be facing a very, very good Packers team who are on a high after the trade for Micah Parsons earlier this week.
Fair play. Then, who is the last one? Who's going to be washed up? They're going to look at them for one game and say, not this year. Try again.
I think the Falcons, and I think they're going to be wrong. I think they're facing the Bucs, and it's a kind of an inverse of the Cardinals at New Orleans. I think they're going to say the Falcons are going to lose quite handily to the Bucs, but that's just because the Bucs are really good. And I think the Falcons are actually going to be really good and going to be pushing for a playoff berth this season. It's just a rough first week, and I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I've got the Falcons actually winning that division. We, the three of us earlier, for anybody who's doesn't know us or is in our individual group chat, we've all picked all of the results that we think is going to happen with absolutely no science involved. And somehow I had both the Falcons and the Buccaneers going 9-8, but the Falcons ended up winning that division. And there's nothing more NFC South than a 9-8 team winning it. And the second place team being 9-8 and missing out on the playoffs. Back when it was only 16 games, I loved an 8-8 playoff team. It was so good. And we had a bunch of that in the South, so that was pretty nice. Right, let me rattle mine off. Hype. The Denver Broncos. They're going to come out swinging. They're going to look incredible. I have already forgotten who they are facing in week 1, but I've got them winning the division, and the hype will be on the Broncos, but it will be just. I've got them going 15-2, going number 1 in the AFC West, and I think that everyone is going to jump on board. And then you'll get the odd naysayer. You'll get people doing it for clicks on TikTok saying, "Oh yeah, it's just 1 week," or "They're not going to do this, not going to do that." I think the hype will just skyrocket, and it will be real. Eventually, it'll die down. I think they'll go 5, 6, 7 games without a loss. And then people would be like, at this point, nobody really minds. They're going to make the playoffs. Concerns. Kansas City, because they're going to lose their first game, much like they did last year in their opener. And everyone's going to go, oh my God, they can't do it. They lost the Super Bowl. They're not the team that they once were. Dynasty's gone. Trav's too busy with his wedding plans. So I think there's going to be way too many concerns about that. There's I can't even remember his name. It's one of the I think it's ESPN or Sports Center or something like that, analyst who has like Mahomes Mountain, who he judges all other QBs based on Mahomes, and he's going to come down on him like a ton of bricks. He's going to rename the mountain Allen Peak or something like that, and everyone's going to go crazy because Kansas City will have lost that game, because the last game they played wasn't particularly good, and I don't think they've done anything to be any better. Can you name me one move Kansas has made since the Super Bowl where you've gone, that's going to be okay? Hollywood Brown? Is Juju back?
They got rid of their starting left guard.
Love that. Love that. They're playing 4D chess with that. We're going to lose players and somehow be better. So I think that's going to be the concern. And also, I think that is going to be just because of the hype Denver's getting. Everyone's going to be like, oh my God, the new kings of the AFC West. And then washed, it's easy to dunk on them, but it's going to be the Dallas Cowboys. People are going to immediately look at that trade. They're going to look at them in week one. They're going to take the loss. Again, I probably should have written down who all these people were playing. But Dallas is going to lose, and everyone's going to go, see?
They're Eagles.
Well, there you go. Oh, yeah, it's the opening game, isn't it? Yeah. So the Eagles are going to walk that. They're at home. They're going to raise the banner. Dallas has lost Michael Parson. But Micah Parsons signed with Green Bay. I could just see Jerry walking around like, where's Micah gone? Like, we fired Michael, right? Like, no. Sorry, dude. Two different guys. You did a racism. So, God, TikTok's going to pull that, isn't it? It's going to like algorithm me there, and it's going to be like Jerry Jones, racist, ? Because we don't write our own descriptions on the things that get like fed into the algorithm. So
that's how you do numbers.
Yeah, if you read any of the descriptions on any of the TikToks we're in, it is just wild because of the stupid things we say, and it just picks up on that. So yeah, easy option for me. The Dallas Cowboys, everyone will say, yeah, you shouldn't have done this, you shouldn't have done that. And Jerry Jones will still be going, well, we've got 4 picks over 2 years. Like, fine, mate, but picks win nothing. So yeah, that's my shout for that. What a turnaround I've taken since last week when Michael Parson was still a Dallas Cowboy, and I was like, looking forward to him. Could be a sneaky one. And just like that, they've got rid of arguably the best player in the league and straight down. So I'm New York. Although unfortunately, I don't think I've got New York making the playoffs, which is a shame because they're like my team to watch. Anyway, I forgot to do the banner. That was the quick. I put so much effort into the overreaction, hype, concern, or washout kickoff banner. Anyway, on to everyone's favorite segment. We don't have a soundbite yet, but I'm going to make some soon, I think. I don't have to do anything in my job. Zazu, sir, news from the underground. Somebody's put 1 new Channel 5 shows on Sunday night. I love the grammatical error there, but one of you two wrote it. Hit me.
So if you've seen this on Channel 5 now, if you're wanting to watch it and you don't have Sky or you don't have DAZN, on a Friday night there's an entertainment show hosted by Dermot O'Leary and OC and No J Bell, and is it Alex Scott? And they're doing 1 6 p.m. game, 1 9 p.m. game. And in between, it's just a game show. It's not like chat or let's go back to the studio to talk about the game. It's like SMTV, but for NFL.
I did see this. The algorithm won't stop feeding me Dermot O'Leary, but also with unknowingly, you and I have applied for the show, haven't we, Pete?
Yes.
Because somebody sent us the link and they were like, oh, do you want to go on an NFL game show? And I was like, yeah, here's a link to the podcast. Here's all sorts of stuff. Here's our like history of the 15 years of our like fantasy league and stuff. Sent it all through, and then like the following week, it was like Hungry Bear Productions are making it, and it's like Hungry Bear announced this new thing with Dermot O'Leary, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna have you like riding an actual bronco or something. It's gonna be
fighting a bear.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be foam involved or slime. I don't know, but yeah, they are. Whenever there's a commercial break in a game in the US, Channel 5 on the 6 p.m. game. We're going to cut back to the studio and it's going to be like questions and dumb things. And it could be amazing. It could be the worst thing you've ever seen on TV. Watch this space to see whether or not we're
I hope they just lean into like the puns for all the games and just, you're going to go slime. So this is get your own running back, something like that. And just play all of that. That'd be absolutely fun. House it.
I've got the email for the producer if you want to send through any notes for them, Pete.
This is my calling in life.
I've had some direct feedback already, so it could happen. Alex, we're dragging you along. Which is great. Send the podcast in; that'll be great news. But yeah, the major story coming out of that, outside the dumb show, is that the Channel 5 get a 6 p.m. game and a 9 p.m. game. The 9 p.m. game is going to be classic, go back to the studio, talk about it and whatnot, which is quite nice. Sky gets to choose first what they get to show at 6 p.m. Then 5 gets to choose at 6 p.m. And then I think the 9 p.m. they can both show the same one. Right. Both games that Sky are showing are blacked out on like DAZN and everything, but the Channel 5 games are not blacked out on DAZN as well. Right. Plus, speaking of DAZN, I don't know if we spoke about it last week. 25 college games a week for free. You don't have to sign up to do anything. You just got to log in, and they're there on a Saturday. So that's pretty nice. They've got like some pretty big teams. There are some college teams that have TV rights that have to be somewhere else, but at least for this year, DAZN is showing a bunch of college. I think it'll be with the idea to charge people next year, depending on the numbers that they do.
Yeah.
Is it good coverage, or is it like just camera and stadium and like different thing, or have you actually got like commentary teams?
No, they've got like college game day and everything. They've got like the full like shebang, as far as I'm aware. So it could be quite interesting to watch. I'm determined to get into more like college game if I can ever carve out some time on a Saturday to watch any of it. I'd rather watch it live. Anyway, speaking of Michael Parson. Alex, you tell me that he's got an injury.
Yeah, so obviously he cemented his trade to Green Bay for 2 first-round picks and injury-prone pass rusher. Jerry Jones strikes again, everybody. He does it great.
Jerry's walking around like a horseman.
Jerry's doing it brilliantly. Obviously, he got a 5-year extension and north of 150 million. But he's currently dealing with a sprained facet joint and the L4, L5 in his back. And the only real way to get rid of it is physiotherapy. There's no surgery, can't have surgery on that kind of thing. He's got a physiotherapy, cortisone shots, and just deep heat. So he's really kind of not able to run at full tilt because the L4, L5 in your back is probably pretty important for a pass rusher, you would think.
Fair enough. Future injury news that we do, Alex, I need a white coat and a chart of the human body that you just pull down behind you and extend the thing and be like, this is the L1, L2. I think that's a PS5 control, but still. Yeah, well, that is kind of a concern because I've got Green Bay going to the Super Bowl now based on a lot to do with Micah Parsons. So yeah, having a dodgy back and having to have injections and stuff sounds like it sucks, but hey, he got paid, and at least he gets to go somewhere incredibly cold that is notoriously good for backs. I popped the next news story in. I found this fascinating, and it probably has more fancy implications than anything else that it did. I'd had a tea many martinis when I saw this news and was doing our League of Record draft. All of Cam Ward's playmakers were cut on the cut days. So the story that I read was, if you think about it, he was that good with a bunch of guys that are not good enough for the NFL. Which, if you haven't drafted Cam Ward yet and you have the chance, I would suggest doing so. Because, again, I think I've got these, taking their division. They're going to do way more damage than I initially expected. And it's not just off the back of that story. I just like the moves that they've made. But, yeah, I don't know who Cam Ward's playmakers were that got cut from other teams that were drafted, but still,
That's the point.
That to me is quite impressive.
That's the point.
That is the point, I guess. Yeah.
On a related fantasy note as well, I know we're kind of stealing a bit of Merce thunder here, but if you want a late round dart throw, Elik Ayomino, who is a late round wide receiver pick for the Titans, has been named as their wide receiver 2, and their wide receiver 1 is Calvin Ridley, who, while good, has dealt with injuries in the past. And if you believe in Cam, I think Elik's basically free for a starting wide receiver. And excellent. I've been grabbing him a lot all over the show recently.
You and I are in pretty much the same league, so I assume that I've not got a shot at picking him up where I want to. I don't think I could just sit here for 2 minutes and scroll through all my teams. It doesn't make for a good podcast. But we'll see who's available after that. Alex, the Brady rule for broadcasting was scrapped this week. Talk to me, Goose.
Yeah, so last season, Tom Brady was implemented some strict rules about his broadcasting career, because he obviously signed a 10-year deal for Fox worth over $150 million. He is very, very important to them. And last year, he wasn't able to go into any team's facility that were not the Las Vegas Raiders, because he owns part of the Las Vegas Raiders. This year, that has been scrapped. He can go into team facilities. He can be in important meetings, speaking to coordinators, speaking to players, and also just sitting there and getting more information and tidbits that should help him with his broadcast there for the fluff bits in between. However, those that listened to Tom Brady last year, the fluff bits weren't really needed or missed. This is really, really, really a bad precedent for the NFL, because it is all sorts of conflicts of interest and all sorts of just straight up, right, we're just pandering to Tom Brady now. I understand he's the GOAT, everybody. I really get it. He's the greatest player of all time. But, let's stop it right now. This is a really dangerous precedent for them, because it now means that if other owners want to do this, then, well, Tom gets to do it, and I'm going to go and feature on this one episode of one show, so I should be able to do this too. So, yeah, I really hope that they learn and change it, but that's a pipe dream, I think.
I could see it getting rolled back if all of a sudden there are weird, sneaky moves, real Belichickian stuff going on. He's just in the bushes, throwing rocks at players and things like that. It'd be it was that guy. There's, I think it is worrying. I don't understand the reason why they would bother doing any of that. I don't, like you say, I don't think Tom was bad. I think the problem is everyone expected him to be better than Romo when Romo first started doing it. Romo's dropped off a cliff a little bit now. He's become he's flanderized himself, hasn't he? He's a bit of a caricature. He's got all of the same kind of catchphrases a guy and all that kind of stuff. So maybe they're doing it to try and help Tom in some way, shape, or form. But again, all of a sudden, Jerry Jones starts a podcast, so he gets to go and hang out at Washington training camp. Sounds like crazy, but where do you draw the line on that one? Watch this space, I guess. Ooh, segue. Love a segue. Speaking of Belichick, we're an NFL podcast, but still, North Carolina get, quote, spanked 48-14. And Belichick's QBs have gone over 2 hours without completing a pass.
So who knew back-to-back news sections on Brady and Belichick in the year of our Lord 2025? Yeah, it was from something like 8:03 till gone 10 p.m. Obviously real time, not game time, because that'd be crazy. But yeah, over 2 hours without completing a pass. They looked appalling. It was 41-7 till later on in the game as well. 2 touchdowns in there. He's just brought in a load of his old mates to be his coordinators and probably just thought,
is it Gronk?
Belichick. Yeah, he's got Terry Kitchens as his OC and all these other guys saying, I'll bring in all my mates and we'll absolutely smush this, and had quite a rude awakening. And the memes have been spectacular since. Just type into your Blue Sky or X, whichever you prefer, into the search bar, just type in Bill Belichick and just look at all of the memes from that. Most of them about his 24-year-old girlfriend entering the transfer portal. and how basically he's never getting a job again. Oh, and this has answered the question whether it was Brady or Belichick. It was Brady. That's your game one overreaction, but it's hard to not overreact to that kind of result.
He's no Deion Sanders, is all I'm hearing.
Well, yeah, he needs young Belichick. Probably not actually, because he was just a bit of a nepo baby at New England, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah. I was gutted to see him leave like punditry and stuff. I enjoyed seeing him pop up and have opinions on like College Game Day, and he did the NFL draft with Pat McAfee and stuff. And he has like weirdly good insight into things. I don't know why he bothered like going back to coaching. I don't care for it. He's got nothing to prove. I'm not sure he needs the money. Yeah. But hey ho, that's Bill Belichick. He just misses the game. Refuses to just let it go.
Like Roy Kent walking out of the studio to go back to Richmond just without the happy-go-lucky writers there. There's just somebody with a big stick to hit him round the head.
So we've had Sticks and Stones, from Sticks and Stones to... Nope, can't wait to segue this one. Arch Manning looked human.
Yes.
This depresses me already. I've not seen much from it, but as a New Orleans Saints fan that is like, ooh, we might get the number one pick. Why did Arch Manning look human?
50% pass completion rate, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He had some moments.
Like 50-50.
Yeah. He had some moments. I mean, they only I think they lost like 14-7 or 11-7. It's a really low-scoring game all over. But I think this is why his family have been saying he's not declaring for 2026. He's not going to be there next year. He's going to stay another year after this, and then he's going to come out in 2027. And everyone's going, no, he won't. He'll be great this year. There'll be too much of a tide, and he'll get drafted first overall, and they won't wait another year in case he gets injured. But I think they see, and you saw it in the game, moments of why people really like him. But then you also see other moments where when he threw the interception on the live, brought the Manning cast, Peyton Manning said he's adopted. So he saw a few of these kind of touch and go moments there, and he will be good. It's an overreaction to week one, but it will be interesting to see how he bounces back from that next week and how he develops, because I do think it's more and more likely that he doesn't come out next year and he does wait another year, because he doesn't need to worry about the financial security. He doesn't need to worry about that. He's going to get drafted high and he's got all the mentoring he could possibly hope for. It's kind of like an opposite. It's like the anti-Shudder with how this has been presented.
He also, like, the other thing as well is both Peyton and Eli both stayed for their all eligible years of college. Like, so there's nothing that he has to like prove that he got drafted before everybody finished and he was able to do this. Like, they both did exactly the same thing that, as Peach just said, he probably might do. So that he's just following in everybody's footsteps if he does. And if he decides to get drafted early, then he decides he's ready and does that lot. There's no shame in anything. He's not going to live up to anybody else's expectations either by doing this. He's literally in a win-win position.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I've got him going to the Colts anyway. I've got the Saints having at least one win this season, so they can have him. They can have him. We'll stick around for whoever's the hot person the following year, unless then the Saints still suck, and then we end up with him in 2027 as well. But by that point, he'll be great. But maybe not now. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on Arch Manning Watch. Keep an eye on this space. Moving on, again, no real like fanfares or anything because none of us have made any yet. But here we are with what is usually halftime, but what we're trying to do is just like rush to the main topic in a sense. But yeah, just a little thing here where Pete, you sent me something that says since the 1990, at least 4 NFL playoff teams from the previous season did not make the next season. So I'm calling this playoffs to layoffs because, you know, I like a a headline. So last year, playoff teams: Detroit, Philly, Tampa, LA Rams, Vikings, Washington, Green Bay, Kansas, Buffalo, Baltimore, Houston, Chargers, Pittsburgh, and Denver were the teams to make it. Now we've all picked the four that we expect not to go there. I'm gonna bust through a few. We've all said the Vikings aren't gonna make it. I think we're all pretty certain that the Vikings are not strong enough in that division. JJ McCarthy might be good, but I've not seen him throw a ball yet. So based on all of the win-loss records that I've gone through today, I think I've got them winning 3 games. Don't know how that happened quite like the Vikings, but I just think based on their schedule, it doesn't look great. Next, there's a couple of teams that the two of us have picked. Alex and I have said that the Chargers won't make it. I think that's obviously because I've got the Broncos Chiefs doing really, really well. Alex, Chargers?
I just think it's really difficult to try and recover and reorganize your line really quickly, and their Slater injury is huge. And even though our run game is absolutely amazing and stuff like that, literally one of them can't see out of their eye. He's still only got 50% vision out of his eye, and it was on about that he's on about starting at week 1. So somebody truly does trust him and does that lot. I really do like the wide receiver room outside of Lad McConkey, and I think he'll have another great season. But Justin Herbert's not going to be able to throw for a 3,000-yard season because Harbaugh's going to make us the run game machine that everybody wants us to be, and it's not going to be enough when Bo Nix is an absolute animal and makes the Pro Bowl.
Ooh, love that. The other team that two of us have got that aren't going to make it are the Steelers, Alex and Pete. I've got the Steelers still making it. I've got that division going a bit ham, to be fair. I've got the Ravens, Bengals, and Steelers all to make that one. But Pete, Steelers, why not?
I think, they've been riding that kind of 50-50 win line for a while now. Rodgers didn't look great last year. He threw for a lot more yards than probably people realize. It was for over 4,000 yards. His stats didn't look horrendous, but the eye test, he didn't pass it. And I get that was in New York. We had all his old mates there. We had Alan Lazard and Garrett Wilson. Here, it's a similar situation where he didn't look great in the Jets when they had a better defense than the Steelers' defense. He might not have as good a coach as Tomlin, but it's DK and friends. It's DK and Pat Freiermuth, and they've just drafted this Caleb Johnson, the running back, with people going, he looks fantastic. I've been really hyped for him. Watched his college game play. He's game tape. He looks really good. And he's the running back 3 on the depth chart. They're just pushing him right down and saying it's Jaylen Warren's team. So I just don't see them having enough weapons to challenge what is still a very, very good Browns defense. They've got the Ravens in division as well, and the Bengals will beat them in a shootout. So I think that division is brutal for them. I just think it's just a bridge too far for Rodgers and Tomlin. It finally comes home.
It's no good having good running backs when your quarterback's going to check out of every run play. That's my hot take on the Steelers, but I do still have them going for it because I think the FU to all the other teams and to the pundits, and the most Aaron Rodgers thing right now would be him coming out and being good.
Yeah.
Just to really twist the knife and be like, how dare you come out here and have an MVP level season and make the playoffs and have a playoff run. How dare you, sir? Is what I'm taking from that.
It'd also be the most Jets thing as well. The most Jets thing, if Aaron Rodgers wins MVP 2 out of the 3 seasons before he joins them and then puts it up an MVP campaign the year he leaves, that would be absolute factory of sadness.
He's that petty. that I can see him doing it. He's not becoming the MVP for any other reason than to prove a point and just like get it one of them to the Jets.
Yeah,
I guarantee when he wins MVP, he will go on McAfee and go no.
He'll get the no. Someone knows. Yeah, absolutely. That's gonna make some good content. Right. So the other ones, I'm just gonna like chuck a bunch out there that we all have our reasons. But Alex, you've got the Rams not making it. I've got the Lions, Texans, and Bucks. I've picked 5. I think there's going to be a Lions drop off. Talk a little bit about that later. Texans, just based on the matchup that I've seen from them, I've got them going 6-11. I don't know what happened when I was picking all of these games, by the way. And like I said earlier, the Bucks are going to be 9-8, like lining up with the Falcons, but the Falcons will probably have the division wins over them. And Pete, you've picked the Packers.
Yeah.
And also the Rams actually to not make the playoffs. Packers, mate. I've literally got money on the Packers to win the Super Bowl.
And so this is really funny. When we started this exercise, I went off vibes. So gut instinct, gut feeling. Who's going to miss out? And I predicted who's going to win every division, who's going through the wild cards, and who I think is going to the Super Bowl. And of just pure gut instinct, I had the Packers losing to the Bengals in the Super Bowl. So I had the Packers going all the way. I had Vikings and Bears missing out on the playoffs and Lions getting in as well. And then today I went through and I tried to be as impartial as possible with all of the teams, and I predicted the winner in every single game for all 18 weeks. And I did it, and I printed it out, and I sent it to you guys. Like, this is my standings, and I didn't even really look at it. And then I checked again, and I had the Bears somehow came out as the 2 seed, and the Packers missed the playoffs, but there was 2 wins difference between them. It was 11 and 9. I think there was 3 wins difference between the Bears at the top and the Vikings at the bottom, and a lot of that was the matchups. I think the Packers have got a horrific schedule. The team is really, really good. I have absolute faith that the team and Matt LaFleur is a top 5 coach. They should win, and I'm almost certainly wrong on this, but they had so many tough matchups, and because that division is brutal, a lot of those games were coin flips. So quite a lot of those interdivision matches, I just went 50-50 and splitting, because that's kind of what happens in the NFC North, particularly right now while they're all good. They were, like I said, they were a field goal away or a blocked field goal away from losing 2-0 to a not very good Bears team last season. And it's just how that division has kind of gone. So they dropped off in a way that really, really surprised me, to be honest. And I'm probably wrong, but I wasn't treating it as, Packers. It was just, this is going to be rough.
Yeah, fair enough. Alex, you and I both have the Rams. I've got them because on their division, I've got the Cardinals and the Niners just going crazy. Strength of schedule for both of them, mostly. And Kyler Murray being my QB1 in my fantasy team had nothing to do with me picking the budget for the Cardinals. But yeah, Rams, why not?
Well, everyone forgets the Seahawks. Like, Sam Darnold's there. He had a really good year last year. Like, Sam Darnold's a good quarterback. Like, we're forgetting about Sam Darnold. Like, yeah, the weapons around him aren't amazing, but like his line's pretty good, and if he's got time to throw, he's going to be able to do it. So like, yes, the main reason I had it is because I have the 49ers bouncing back, and I think the 49ers will do really well this season.
Yeah, fair enough. Interesting note that I've spotted whilst doing this, because I, for whatever reason, didn't do my job and instead decided to color code all of these picks. We've picked 5 teams that have all got a secondary color of yellow. Just chuck that out there. There's a lot of non-yellow. You don't see a lot of yellow in the big games in the Super Bowl. So
anti-cowardice league.
maybe there's something from that. So I guess briefly, I'm just going to like rattle through these teams that I think will make it instead of the ones that I said. I've got the Cardinals, the Bengals, the Niners, the Titans, the Falcons. I've got all of them making the playoffs when they replacing the teams above. Alex, who you got?
I got the Giants, again the Falcons, I think the Titans, and also the 49ers.
And Pete?
I don't remember who I wrote. Give me a second and I'll tell you.
I can tell you it starts with the Bears.
It starts with the Bears, yes. I had the Bears, the Falcons, the Bengals, and the 49ers, and I think Bengals are going to win it all.
So we've all got Niners. We've all picked the Falcons. And then a couple of us think the Bengals. Yeah, interesting stuff. Anyway, on to the thing that everybody came to see that we've wanted to do since the first show, which is some season predictions. So the topic of the show this week that to essentially play us out. We've all kind of gone through and made a few, some bold, some not so bold predictions for the season because we're incredibly excited. And what better to do than just say a bunch of stuff having never seen a ball snapped so far. So if anybody is wanting to play along at home, just like chuck a comment in YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitter, wherever you may be. And if you've got any bold predictions, do let us know. I'm going to lurk in the comments after this as well and see if we can see some cool stuff. I'll kick it off because I think I have more than the pair of you. So I'm going to start easy. And I'm going to say that Trey Hendrickson will be the sack leader. And that's going to cost the Bengals too much money. And so he's going to be off to pastures new because they could only just afford to pay for him this 1 year. So I think I said it last week. They paid him some money. They've said it's Super Bowl or bust for us. You'll get that. It's also an audition for your next team. Good luck. But right now we really need you, so we're going to pay you. And then, you'll be able to prove yourself for next year. That's my kind of like bold one because I think that he has to earn what he's being paid and he has to audition for the other teams that are going to try and pick him up next year. Any thoughts on that? Anybody care to rebuttal, or is there another sack leader that you've got out there?
It kind of fits into one of mine, which is the sack record will get broken.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
by Trey Hendrickson.
By Trey Hendrickson, you can have Trey Hendrickson to have it if you want. You can have Micah Parsons when he's fit. You can have Myles Garrett. You can have TJ Watt. You can have the edge rusher from the Lions who I'm blanking on right now. Yeah, Aiden Hutchinson. You can have any of them. But every year it gets really, really close, and no one really quite amazes it. So,
I've just had a thought. Hutch, comeback player of the year.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Because he's going to break the sack record. There you go.
But then Trey Hendrickson will break it more, so it'll be fine. So then everybody's right. I really like the pick. He was fantastic last year. It'd be interesting to see whether his body can hold up, but at least he's got more support. I think as people start to worry more about Shamar on the other side, Shamar Stewart, it will free him up a little bit more. There's more than one person to think of because before it was, let's just focus on Trey and everybody else can just go and rot. And he still managed to go. If they're doubling up, it's good. It's really predictable, but I think Micah. I think because of all the weapons around him, you can't just scheme up for Micah Parsons. It just won't work. So I think he's going to go ham. He's going to have the best season of his career.
New team, new scheme. It might take him a little while to settle in, to get his groove. He's also playing in the frozen tundra. He's got a bad back. I'm happy for the guy, but I think he's going to be ridiculous, and he's going to win the Super Bowl with Green Bay and be a massive FU to Jerry Jones. But I don't see him being able to get those numbers straight out the gate. Okay. Depends on who they've got. Obviously, I think they're definitely playing the Cowboys at some point. Yeah, which is insane. But yeah, so Mike Parsons, I would be more inclined that I think Hutch and JJ probably have more of a chance. Myles Garrett's going to be on the field a lot. We're pretty certain of that. So that gives him more opportunity than some of the other guys. So yeah, good. Alex, I know you've just kind of give it the old sack record broken, but top one, head coach. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I think on average, every season there is around about 6 or 7 firings in the NFL. Everybody always calls it Black Friday, Black Monday after the season because all the coaches get fired. It's kind of like this. It's a coach sale. If you want it to coach next season, there's going to be one available the first Monday after the season ends. But this year, I think it'll include some really big names. I personally I think if Denver missed the playoffs, Sean Payton loses his job. I think Kevin Stefanski has lost all excuses now, and he will lose his job in Cleveland. And the Haslams will just do a full blow up, and they'll also get rid of Andrew Berry, and it'll be mirrored in Los Angeles as well because we all think the Rams aren't going to do very well this season, so they'll get rid of both their GM and their head coach, and then have a real big stab at a brand new young quarterback and just reset the whole thing.
Wow. Okay. I can see the Stefanski thing. I wouldn't agree with it, but Brown's going to Brown. I can see that. I could definitely see Sean McVay walking away and just going, do you know what? I need a new challenge. I want to take a break, and then I'll come back to another team in a year's time. Particularly if Stafford's on his way out and he can't be bothered with a rookie quarterback. But for them to fire Les Snead and fire Sean McVay, I would be shocked. So that's going to be an implosion for the ages if that happens. I'd be fascinated by that.
But if they go 3-14, or 3-14, if they go 3-14 this season and they and they completely miss the playoffs and barely do anything, haven't you kind of got to?
I guess it depends, because if you're going to go 3-14, if you go 3-14 with a healthy Stafford, then you need to have questions. If he's crocked and you're using whoever their backup is, I've forgotten who the backup is at the minute, then you've got a problem, definitely, that needs addressing.
They had some person that used to be at the Patriots.
Oh, it's
Stetson Bennett.
What?
Stetson Bennett.
Okay, I thought Jimmy Garoppolo was there.
Oh, Garoppolo. Garoppolo might be there as well. Yeah, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yes, he is. Of course, he is. Igor.
yeah. There you go. There's some hot butts there. There's some like big names. I suppose the Stefanski one, I see. The McVay ones, they're crazy to me. You have missed this one out, but you said Jerry Jones finally retires. I think we're up to a record of Jerry Jones mentions, but I think Jerry Jones is almost as old as the president of the United States, isn't he? So he is about due. At this point, I got a funny suspicion that his family are going to like weekend at Bernie's him until eventually they just can't hide it anymore. But they could. Look, we're gonna like sack out the Cowboys a bunch today. I think Jerry could do with just sitting on a beach somewhere, perfectly fine, and maybe an island. Who knows? He probably owns one. He's probably visited a couple. Not to name any. I don't know many islands, but hey, island is an island. Yeah, the United Kingdom. You can come and just put his finger up. I'll check out my next one, which I've kind of already alluded to, but I've got Kansas City to make the playoffs, but to not win the division. Do you guys both have them taking the AFC West?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not with the record that they've had. but still taking it. Yeah.
So only just.
Yeah. I think Everton's like the 3rd or 4th seed in the AFC.
Fair enough. So not the. I've still got them 13-4. Like that's not bad, but it's not 15-2 that I've got the Broncos. Don't know why all of a sudden I got really high on the Broncos. Is it support a hat? Who knows?
Sean Payton as well. You love Sean Payton.
I do love Sean Payton. He won us a Super Bowl. That man can do no wrong. So yeah, I guess that's kind of my bold one out there. It kind of lines up with earlier I was talking about the concern that people will have over Kansas, and there'll be distractions. It's that whole media circus surrounding them. I think that it would have been better for them to have done the three-peat and the pressure be off, and they can like let that down. But now it's almost like they're going to be playing with a chip on their shoulder, saying, "Oh, we made it. We almost three-peated. We're still a dynasty. You're not." So I just think that division is starting to look more and more interesting. The Chargers have now got a couple of seasons of all the changes that they want to make. I think that's going to be tougher than it has been for Kansas City. I can't discount the black and silver Seahawks that Tom Brady's a part owner of. I just think that there's just enough there to sneak a few wins and to just chip away at the Chiefs. Maybe do they get a win from them? Maybe not, but I could see somewhere where Tom Brady's been able to go to a Chiefs practice, spy on them, kick Trav in the knee, and then report back that they are going to take the win. Either way, I'm putting money on the Raiders taking the spread every week because of Tom Brady being able to visit anybody. So yeah, that's a few of the things. Obviously, I've got like Denver going gangbusters as well. I love it when there's a really tough division. It once upon a time, like the I forget what they're all called, but Ravens, Bengals, Steelers, Browns. When the Browns all of a sudden became a thing, you could see all four of those like taking it. The same's kind of happening almost to the extent with everybody in the AFC West. Once upon a time, there was an NFC South version of that, but it was just like who was the best of the worst. Like anyone could win it with an 8-8 record. Yeah. So I do enjoy it when it's quite competitive, not like the Bills running away with their division because Dolphins, Patriots, Jets don't really care for any of them. But yeah, so I guess that's one of the tamer ones that I've got for the season. Pete, what's your next one?
I think that, and it hasn't happened for a while, there's going to be a team that has 2 or fewer wins that doesn't get the number 1 seed. I think the bottom is bad. And if Arch does start to look good, and there's this kind of hype, I know there was a little bit with Caleb, but last year, no team hit 2 wins. They were all 3 or better. The year before, it was just Carolina. Were only on 2 and 15. Everyone else was more. But I think there's going to be a couple of teams that get below that and are just demolished this year. I don't see the Saints winning a game. I just don't think they've got. Sometimes if you've got a not great quarterback, like the Jets have got Fields, if you've got a team that's weak against the run, he can make something happen. You can see a surprise winning. I don't see a team winning a game with Spencer Rattler at quarterback and his backup being a guy that can't beat Spencer Rattler to the starting job in Tyler Shuck. And Tyler Shuck is like 47. He's had enough games now under his belt before he got drafted.
His grandkids are going to be annoyed, aren't they?
Yeah, they'll be playing with him. They're on the other side. So, yeah, I don't see them winning, and I just don't see anything from the Colts as well. Danny Dimes has his moments, and he could sneak a couple of wins. But I think the Titans are going to be very, very good. I think the Panthers are going to be much improved, and they're going to build on what they did last year. So the division is tougher than it looks. On paper, it looks piece of cake. And the Jags as well, who I think will be better with Liam Cohen in a head coach, and the weapons that they've brought in to help, like Travis Hunter. So, yeah, I think they're going to look a lot worse than people are thinking. And it's probably going to be one of those things where they panic, drop Daniel Jones for Anthony Richardson, then go, oh, yeah, this is why we dropped Anthony Richardson. And just kind of bounce around a bit there. So, yeah, that's my spicy take. And there are others. I think it wouldn't surprise me at all if Gino turned back into a pumpkin in Vegas as well. Particularly if did Myers get his extension, or is he still looking to be traded?
I think he's still to be traded. I've not seen any news of it yet.
Yeah. So if Myers goes, there's not a lot for Gino to throw to there at all. There really isn't.
Understandable. One of my spicy ones for this year was: will there be an 0-17 team? And underneath, I've just put yes, Indianapolis. I think we can all agree that there isn't a single game that you look at them and go, they're going to be the favorite. So I've got them there. But also in that, I've got somehow New Orleans end up not being the worst, because I've got the Vikings, the Jets, the Colts, and the Browns to all have a worse record than the Saints. The Saints have this annoying, kind of 50-50 thing against the Falcons, where they're at least going to sneak out a win against them. And just that one win alone is going to move them out of the first place. I've only got the Jets with one win as well. I don't know where that was, but I think that's going to be quite tough. I could have had 2 0-17 teams. But again, I've got the Vikings somehow doing worse than the Saints.
Wow. That's too spicy for my blood. I can't agree with that.
Yeah, but I think that's the vindaloo of takes that we've had here so far. And it is. I need a glass of milk with that one. Thank you.
I would love.
Who's your worst ones, Alex?
I mean, I think the New Orleans Saints could be a 0-17 team. I agree with what you've said, but I don't. My spicy take would be the opposite. I don't think there's going to be an 0-17 team. I think Pete's right. The bottom is dross. It's really bad, but somebody will pick somebody off. It's the NFL. That they won't allow a 0-17 team anymore. They can't allow that embarrassment to their product.
Yeah, fair play.
But the Browns are a very, very, very close one. Those guys are terrible. That's one we've not really talked on today. We've talked on a lot of terrible teams, of the Panthers, the Saints, obviously there. For some reason, the Vikings have been thrown about here. They're actually going to be an okay team this year. The Colts are obviously one of them, but the Browns have just been excluded. They're awful. They haven't got a good quarterback. Nick Chubb might be able to walk, let alone run.
He's not even there.
He's in Houston. No, he's starting for Houston. That probably says a lot, doesn't it? That we've all got Houston. I think we've all got Houston winning that division. With
no.
Have you not? Oh, I've got
the Titans.
Right. Okay. But with Nick Chubb on no legs as their lead running back to start the season.
I've got 6 wins for the Texans. I've only got them taking 6. I've not got them making the playoffs. They were one of my ones that have taken a drop there, which leads me to one of my other ones that have taken a drop. And I've talked a little bit about them already. One of my ones before the big prediction from Alex is that the Lions are going to make the drop off of the Lions will be talked about for years to come. I've got them going 9-8, and that's quite generous in my opinion. I don't know how I managed to give them 9 wins. I think a couple of them were pity wins, but for me, I think that's going to be there was a few years ago where it was like all of a sudden the Jags had like 2 years where it was like, oh my God, are they actually gonna like do it? And then immediately just like fell off a cliff. God knows how they just managed to do it. And I think the hype surrounding the Lions doing all of that thing for the past couple of years, ever since Hard Knocks, really. I think that the drop off there is real. I think the kind of the rise of the Bears is going to do a little bit to hurt them. I've still not got the Bears doing very well. I've got them 7-10. Sorry, mate. But the Packers like just dominating at like 16-1. And plus I've got like a lot of other teams with doing much better. So a 9-8 Lions for me is kind of the drop off where everybody's going to be like, wow, and nobody will kind of like talk about them again. The Lions will fall back into obscurity. They'll just be that team that always plays on Thanksgiving again for whatever reason. Does anybody know that, by the way? Why is it always the Lions on Thanksgiving?
I think they called dibs.
Nailed it. Well played, Detroit.
Yeah.
Go on, Alex. Give us the big one. I think we could probably talk about this for a good little while.
We will have a Super Bowl champion who hasn't won this millennia.
So since the year of our Lord 2000, there's going to be somebody who hasn't. Are you saying that there will be one?
Yeah, there'll be a brand new winner that has not won in the last 25 years.
Right. Okay. And so I'm looking at the list here. Who are your choices that you think could be?
It's really contradictory because obviously you're of what we've just said. But for me, the Detroit Lions are up there. I completely disagree with you. Even though I've just checked their schedule and it is absolutely solid. So if they're there, they deserve to be there, and they're actually legit, and that'll be their year, and everyone will be really happy. The off-season darlings, the Buffalo Bills, their Hard Knocks might have been terrible, but they're a good team, and that's pretty much it. Because the teams that have never won are the Arizona Cardinals, no, the Atlanta Falcons, no, the Carolina Panthers. Oh, sorry, no. The Cincinnati Bengals, they also have a Super Bowl window because they have an MVP level quarterback. The Cleveland Browns, no. The Houston Texans, not yet. The Jacksonville Jaguars, come on. The LA Chargers, no. The Minnesota Vikings, no. The Tennessee Titans, maybe not yet. The Chicago Bears, sorry, Pete, not yet. The Dallas Cowboys, not while Jerry Jones is still here. The Miami Dolphins as well, not a chance. The New York Jets, no. The San Francisco 49ers have had their chance. I do not believe it will happen again. And
I like that they've had their chance.
The Washington Commanders.
Let your brother.
And the Washington Commanders will not win it either. So it'll either be the Buffalo Bills, the Detroit Lions, or the Cincinnati Bengals who will win the Super Bowl this year. And out of those, I personally think it will be the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, fair enough. Just looking at that list, and obviously I've gone wild on some of my predictions, and I've got Green Bay versus the Ravens in the Super Bowl. So it's tough for me to pick one of these. I would love it. I'm ready to. One of the best Super Bowls ever for me was Rams Bengals, because it was just like a matchup that you haven't seen in the Super Bowl in a long time, and it's like, oh, this feels really refreshing. It's nice. Anybody can kind of get there. There's some nice little storylines behind it. Obviously, that was around the whole is it scripted and all that jazz, but I don't care. So I love the idea that we could have a Super Bowl champion who hasn't won it in the past 25 years. Flicking through this list. Obviously, I've got the Cardinals doing quite well, but yeah, I think you're right. Bills, I fell in love with them thanks to Hard Knocks. Bengals could make it back and do it. I don't believe in the Lions, Texans. I'm not even going to mention a few of these. I've got the Vikings doing nothing. It's the ones that have won, but not since 2000, that I'm mostly interested in. And that's the fact that, I don't think they'll do it, but the Bears have got better. But for me, out of this list, the 49ers and the Washington football team I could see either of those two make the playoffs and then just sneaking their way through, depending on the matchups that they've got. But out of that list, I think, yeah, you're right. Bills, Bengals, but if I only had to have three, I would say that the Niners are gonna be so from so bad to so good. I could just see that happening, and that would please me greatly. I don't know who then I would have them going up against if looking at all this. Yeah, Green Bay. Yeah, fair enough. That would be quite a classic matchup. I'm sure there's loads of archive footage that the NFL do to have a Green Bay San Francisco matchup.
No, the Super Bowl would be Ravens, wouldn't it? Because both NFC.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, I was the wrong way around there, wasn't
I? I wouldn't at all. I mean, it depends on how Ricky Pearsall is and how Ayuk comes back, but I could definitely see the 49ers making it back to the big game because they had so many injuries last year. That was it was like they were on an Indian burial ground. It was horrendous. So I could definitely see them getting back. I predicted that the Bengals will get there, and it's going to be like Kevin Keegan's Newcastle, where it's just going to be box office every single week. And I really want it to happen. They just keep outscoring you every single week because they've got the weapons to do it. And they've got enough on defense to keep them in games. And then Burrow and Chase and Higgins and the other Chase Brown just steamroller teams. And is it Gesicki's the tight end as well? So I'd really love to see them steamroll the way there. It's more wish casting than forecasting. I just want it to happen. I think it'd be great fun.
Amazing. So I guess just quickly before we move on to the final 2-minute drill, who's everyone's Super Bowl? Where did you land on that? I went Green Bay, Baltimore.
I went with Bengals and Buccaneers.
Okay. I'm going to need a second there. Tampa. Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yes, I think they've got a fantastic schedule, and I think they've got a superb roster and a healthy, happy Baker. If he keeps rolling and he's in a positive headspace, they're as good. Maybe the quarterback's not as good, but the rest of their roster is as good as their previous Super Bowl winning team, I think.
I didn't think I could love Baker Mayfield any more than I do, but the story that came out this week that Baker nearly sacked it all off to become a competitive Halo 3 player came across my desk, and I was like, oh, mate, yeah, I will follow you to the end of the earth. I don't even care if you're in division. That one works for me. Alex, who have you got? Who's your Super Bowl?
It's the Bills and the Eagles.
I mean, yeah, all right. I'll give you the
most likely
back Eagles. I think
it's the Bills and the Eagles. It's disappointing. I know. I apologize, boys. But in the championship game, I do have the Eagles beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You've got the Bucks as well. What is going on here? What? Merv's a Bucks fan. Has he got to you both? What?
I said this last week. I said I was on the Baker Mayfield train last week. I'm not getting off that train. I believe in Baker. If we can just have a human interest story of Baker Mayfield every week. So you've just said you wanted to be a competitive Halo 3 player. Can we just bring up a cool Baker Mayfield story every week about what Baker's just done?
Yeah. Okay. We're
the Great British Baker. That's what we'll call it.
Thank you. Writing that down. All right. Well, let's do it. Let's do just a quick fun thing to get out of the way. The week one game you're most looking forward to. If you're not a big red zone guy or anything, who's the one team that you just love to sit and watch? I'm going Giants Washington. I think Alex has convinced me enough about the Giants defense. I think the Giants offense could be really fun. I've got a thing for dangerous Mr. Unlimited Wilson anyway. And I really have liked that to have just started and just have a bunch of fun. I like the Washington football team. I'm hoping that all of the drama surrounding them is just smoke by the time kickoff happens. But that's the one that I want to watch. Alex, what you got?
I have the Buccaneers and the Falcons. I'm sticking on the Bucs train. And obviously last week I was also the Falcons will kind of do it. And Michael Penix will be interesting to see how he's developed this offseason, how he gets in the weapons that we know they have, and also how they use their tight ends. I'm really intrigued to see how both the Bucs and the Falcons do that. I think it'd be great. That would be a very offensive matchup that I am excited for. Let's see 27-24.
And Pete, bring us home.
Might seem like a really obvious one, but Ravens-Bills. You've got regular season. I'm not going to say regular season Lamar. You've got regular season Jim Harbaugh, and the Ravens when they're playing at their peak. You've got Bills when they're playing at their peak. The Bills have just brought back Gabe Davis, and he's always good for an explosive play or two. So I think that's going to be a slobber knocker. That'll be a fascinating game to watch, as you'd expect.
Could be the championship game as well.
It could, and wouldn't surprise me if it as a nice bookend of game one and the last game as well. Well, last AFC game.
Interesting one as well. The Pick'em on Flick'em has, and this isn't just our league, but everybody doing a Pick'em has literally got that 50-50. Nobody can decide who's going to take that first game. So that'll be quite interesting to see. But with that, thank you everybody for listening. Again, don't be shy. Jump in the Pick'em League. There is going to be a prize. Going to make most stickers out in his pocket from all the sweet money that he's rolling in. Now we're at 1,000 subs. I'm not saying that it was because of us, but I'm saying that there weren't 1,000. Then we started a podcast, and now there are 1,000. I think there might have been 2 or 3 before, so the 990 something all came from this. So thank you very much, everybody, and good night. End stream.